Hello and welcome back to one of our mini training sessions on Workbooks CRM. And in this one, we're going to cover the basics of the Mailchimp integration with Workbooks and how to get more from your data by unlocking that integration to an email marketing platform, popular marketing platform like Mailchimp. So if you're just getting started with email marketing, or you're using Mailchimp already and you've just signed up with Workbooks CRM, or do you have Workbooks already and you want some initial guidance on setting up the link? Well, this is the event for you. This is the call for you. So, hello, my name is Tim Wilmot, joined by my colleagues Stuart, Lawrence, and Hein. And our company, Wizard Systems, we're a leading independent CRM solutions provider of systems like Workbooks. And we help out generally small, mid-sized organizations with simple, affordable solutions to help their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity. So thanks for joining us today, those of you on here live, or if you're watching a recording on our YouTube channel, for this little mini training session, a regular series focusing on different topics in and around Workbooks. And as I said, we're going to cover that Mailchimp integration. Now, the audio part of this call is one way only. If you've got a question concerning anything we mention, pop that into the question box on your meeting control panel. We'll do our best to answer at the end. We'll probably be done in about 10 minutes or so. It's just a brief session just to get you started and thinking about that Workbooks Mailchimp link. Okay, so just a brief introduction to Wizard. 30 plus years experience of implementing CRM solutions. We provide any service around Workbooks, provisioning the product and training, implementation, and ongoing help desk support. So anything to do with Workbooks, please contact Wizard Systems. Okay, let me hand over to Stuart now. And while Stuart's getting ready, let me just make Stuart the presenter. Just while Stuart's getting ready, just like to mention some of the benefits of why the integration, why think about integrating Workbooks CRM with a mailing platform, probably one of the most popular mailing platforms there is, like Mailchimp. Why would you do it? Well, first of all, you can do targeted email campaigns by syncing your Workbooks contacts and groups with Mailchimp. You can easily create targeted email campaigns and segments in Mailchimp based on that CRM data, which is likely to contain a lot more detailed information than some of the profiling stuff you could do in Mailchimp. So you got a lot more data to look at: customer profile, attributes, purchase history. Remember, Workbooks is tracking sales, is tracking financial transactions, so we can leverage that data as well. What have they bought? Do some cross-selling, upselling, that sort of thing. Secondly, it's going to help with lead nurturing. So that integration enables smooth transitions of leads, if you're using that leads feature in Workbooks CRM, to your email nurturing workflows in Mailchimp, if you're using Mailchimp in that way. Ideally, you are. Tracking campaign performance with a third one. You can easily track metrics like open rates, click-through rates. I think we're going to show that to you shortly. Unsubscribes right within the campaign screen in Workbooks. And this helps you sort of get that top level. Obviously, there's lots of analytics in Mailchimp, but for the Workbooks user, getting a lot of that sort of header detail, that top heads up information on the performance of that campaign. Leads, think about lead scoring as well and analyzing your leads. What are good leads? What are bad leads? So Mailchimp does allow you to track data like email engagement and link clicks and so on. And that could help the salesperson prioritize their follow-up calls and hot leads a lot faster and more efficiently. You've got time savings, the automated flow between the two applications. It's going to save you time on manual entry or exporting out of CRM, importing into your email platform. None of that, really, really easy. And if you think about it, email marketing has to be a number one tool for you reaching customers and delivering targeted messaging. Probably I would say better than running campaigns on social. It's going to be your number one tool to leverage that data as a number one tool to reach the right customers. And also, it's free with Workbooks. The actual link is free. Anyway, so over to you, Stuart. I'll come back and monitor the questions very shortly, but over to you, Stuart.
Thank you, Tim. So the first thing we need to do is to link Workbooks to Mailchimp. And this is done via a feature called an API key. And this is a secure connection between the two applications. And it takes care of field mappings and making sure that the contact data is safely passed across. So let me show you how I set this up. So we go through, if you go through Start and Configuration, I'll just show you here in Configuration, you'll land on this screen. And if we click on Mailchimp, you arrive at the Mailchimp integration screen. Now, I already have my API set up, and hopefully it's come across nice and clearly. But when you do this for the first time, it'll be nice and clean. But Workbooks have done a lot of the sort of heavy lifting for you. So if we were to click on this option here, enter your Mailchimp API key, it would take you to this screen. As you can see, the option is create an API key. And what it will ask you to do is it'll ask you to give the key a suitable name. I suggest something nice and simple, perhaps Workbooks contacts might be a good one to start with. Once you've done that, it will create a key which is made up of random letters and numbers. Now, it's worth pointing out here that you do need to be careful. You only get to see this key once. So copy the key, and then in Workbooks, come back here and paste the key into the API key field and click on Save. Once you've done that, the next options will become available, and it'll ask who you are and what your email address is going to be. The bit that a lot of people don't see, and it's where some people land in trouble, is you need to create an area in Mailchimp for Workbooks to store your contacts. And this, until fairly recently, was called a list, but in Mailchimp they now call it an audience. So if you don't have one, again, shortcut here, click that option to create the list, give it a suitable name. Again, you could call this list the same as the API key, Workbooks contacts. And it just means you create this repository where every contact from Workbooks will be uploaded and stored. Once you've got that, you can select it from the drop-down list, click on Save, and that's the connection side of it done. Once that's ready, you can start your first campaign. And this all starts with, of course, knowing who you're going to be sending your emails to. And in Workbooks, they call this, get it right, a mailing list. And there are several ways to do it, but I found the cleanest and simplest way is to make my list, and I know who I'm going to be emailing. I'm going to be emailing everybody in Berkshire. That's the name of my list. I'm just going to create an empty list. And that's it. That's all I need at this moment. I have my mailing list. So save and close. I then need to know who I'm sending it to. So if I go to people and I look at, let's pick all people, let's get a good list. Hopefully everybody knows how to do things like add columns. And now I can filter on that column. And I say, let's start typing Berkshire. I'll go as far as Berks. And I've got 8 people. Now, the beauty of creating the mailing list first is if I click on bulk action, just add to mailing list, a pop-up window, Berkshire, add. It'll confirm, are you sure? We click add and click OK. Now, there's only 8, so that should be fairly quick. If this was substantially something else to do, of course, you'll get a notification in Workbooks to say you've done it, and you'll also get an email notification to tell you that your mailing list is ready. If we quickly go and check this, see if anybody's in there yet. There we are. 8 people are ready. So they are now in my list. So from there, I can close that, come over to here, go into marketing, and now into a campaign. If I start a new campaign, again, I'll call it Berkshire Newsletter. And it's worth noting here that this name that you create here will be the name that is uploaded into Mailchimp. And that will be the name of the campaign that's stored in Mailchimp. So again, we click save. And all I need to do now is add my mailing list. And at this point, there's one other mandatory field. And I'm going to say that yes, they were interested. They opted in. I click add. I click OK. And that is now part of my campaign. So I've got a Berkshire newsletter. I've got 8 members. By clicking that, this will start the integration side of it now, and I'll go through a series of steps, and it will then create the campaign within Mailchimp so that you can then create your newsletter, you can use their templates, and you can send your email. And because we went through this process, the contacts are already in the recipients within Mailchimp, so the right people will get the message. When you want to see how everything went, if I go back to a campaign, one from earlier, a campaign that's been running, you want to see how the figures have gone. If you want to have a quick look at a particular campaign, all the information, of course, is stored in Mailchimp, but you do get some information passed back into Workbooks. And here I can see 2 members, not a very big mailing, valid email addresses. I can see just sort of some standard information. If you need to know further, you can drill into a particular person. And each person, when you have the integration running, has a Mailchimp activity tab. If we click that, it would show further information on this screen. And it shows the 50 most recent lines of information. In fact, if I can make this easier and go to another person, me, when we have a look at this one, we can see there that it shows that the email was sent, an email was opened, and there was a click through. So it even tells me that they clicked on a particular link. And it's the, as you can see, it's the 50 most recent activities from Mailchimp that are passed back through. So you can quickly see that you are getting a return on your campaign. And that's Workbooks and Mailchimp.
Okay, thanks very much, Stuart. So back to me. We'll handle any questions you've got around this feature. You can see it's really, really simple. And once you got set up, you're good to go. You just need that sort of knowledge of Mailchimp really for creating those templates and send options. All right, if you've got any questions, pop those into the question section in meeting control panel. First question from Anne: will it work with the free version? So I assume, Anne, you mean the free version of Mailchimp. I think I can answer that one, Stuart. So yes, it will work. But obviously you need to be aware of the limitations of the free version of Mailchimp, you know, your number of subscribers. I don't know where that might cause an issue. If you've got a massive database, Stuart, and you're shoving that into the free version, that might cause an issue. I think it's 2,000 subscribers, something like that on the
yes, 2,000.
And there's some obviously a limit on the monthly sends as well, so that might limit you, and the range of email templates that you've got in the free version of Mailchimp as well. So it's worth, I mean, the return on email marketing, you're going to get good returns. So it's always worth investing in a subscription there for that. So hopefully that answers your question. And Jaden we're on Gator Mail already. Should we move? Okay, so Gator Mail is the primary, the more sophisticated link of workbooks to an email marketing platform. In a word, no, because Gator Mail is a superior mailing platform than the Mailchimp. It's got a lot of features in it that Mailchimp doesn't have, like surveys and so on, and the kind of workflow it's got and template designs. It's got things in there that Mailchimp doesn't have. And the big reason would be Gator Mail is tightly integrated workbooks, such that when you send out your emails, every response is physically in the Workbooks database. And why is that important? Well, you can then leverage that data on future campaigns. You can use it for Workbooks reports and so on. Whereas as Stuart was explaining, we're just viewing, when we go to a contact person record, we're just seeing the last 50 things that have come back from Mailchimp. So you're going to get a hell of a lot more integration with a mailing system with Gator Mail. So don't make that move. Stick with Gator Mail, and we do supply Gator Mail. Incidentally, with the systems we do supply that. So you've got at least two options for mailing from Workbooks. Mailchimp, sort of low end. Typically, would say Mailchimp would be more low end stuff, getting started. But if you're serious about mailing and you're serious about the integration back into your Workbooks CRM, go Gator Mail every single time. Anyway, hope that answers your question. Third question, Damien. If you add a new person to the database and their criteria, they belong to the mailing list, will they be added to the campaign? Stuart, maybe you can answer that one.
Yes, they would. One thing that I didn't show, if I use my Berkshire mailing list as an example, you can tick an option called auto refresh, and then when a new contact meets the criteria, so in other words, in mine, the county of that new contact would equal Berkshire, they would automatically be added to the mailing list, and so they would get the next email that you sent out to that mailing list.
Okay. Question from Tanya. Currently, we use Gator Mail, Spotler, as it's called now. Spotler's the parent company. Is it easy to remove this and switch to Mailchimp? Well, yes, it would. You just got to think about the reasons why you're doing that. It is a bit of I would say it's a bit of a downgrade in, as I was saying to, was it Jaden? Yeah, it's a bit of a downgrade. So maybe we need to find out the real reasons why. But to answer your question, well, yes, you can switch from one to the other. I guess you've got to think about your unsubscribed, but that's tracked in Workbooks anyway with the Gator subscription. So it should be relatively painless. And we at Wizard Systems, we could advise you and give you a little bit of coaching, Tanya, if you wanted that from us to help you make that switch. Tanya's saying we're having some issues with data collection. Okay, so again, we could try and resolve any issues you've got there with that data collection, but please, well, we can contact you after the call, Tanya, if you'd like us to. Right, I think that's all the questions. So thanks the four of you for those. Well, let's wrap things up then, Stuart. Just to let everyone know, Workbooks users, potential Workbooks CRM users, Workbooks are imposing a small price increase. They don't often increase their prices. I mean, we've worked with them for about 13 years now, and I think there's only been a price increase about 2 or 3 times. So it's not on a regular basis, but there is this price increase at the 1st December. So if you've got new users or you're thinking about buying Workbooks, if you're starting with Workbooks, get your order in quick in the next 2 days. 29th of November now, this live call. So get in quick. Do you need any workbooks training? We've got places next week on our Mastering Workbooks course really to take you to the next level. So aimed at existing workbooks users that just want to go to that next level of knowledge on workbooks. It's a training course at our training centre just north of Bristol. So be happy to see you. I think we've got 1 or 2 places left. So please let us know if you're interested. Right. Let's just close things down now. And thanks very much for those of you watching live. Thanks for your time. We will catch up with you on the next 101 session. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.